Muta Somewhere Gamers versus Ethan Klein H3H3. Just know that both of them have some right things and some wrong things. And if you don't know what happened the past few days, I'll just fill you in real quick. So Muta was calling out Ethan for saying, hey man, you were basically donation shaming Jeff Bezos, and what the hell happened to FUPA? Ethan finally responded saying, I wasn't really donation shaming Jeff Bezos, but I was talking about him and maybe shaming him for other things besides just donations. And yeah, I will finally address FUPA 2.5 years later, mind you. Ever since Ethan Klein responded to Muta got rid of his videos. He has apologized, saying that his following is a lot bigger than it used to be. He's got to move on, and he's going to learn from his mistakes. As for Ethan Klein, the video is still up, and you can go and watch it. And that was just a brief summary of what happened within the past week. Now let's briefly go over the FUPA Fund and the money situation, basically. At first, Ethan and Neela thought, okay, it's just 50 grand, it might last a couple months. Same with the subscribers, but if we don't know how the law system works at all, when it comes to civil and criminal, these cases last months. And only 1 month was around $54,000 for Ethan and Neela. Now, did Ethan and Neela ever outright say they ran out of money for the FUPA Fund? Since I saw that video, no, they didn't. Did they imply that they're going to run out of money and they'll pitch in? Yes, which is completely different. Just like saying that you're not outright shaming Jeff Bezos for donations, but you're implying something else with the hashtag where's Bezos. So the bold guy case against Ethan and Neela lasted a couple months, but Philly D gave him 150 grand and raised that much money for him. So that lasted around maybe 3 months. And then it lasted a couple more months because it ended around August or maybe even July.
And again, I need to emphasize so much because it's been so long since we talked about this, that thanks to Philly D's fundraiser, we raised, I think after GoFundMe took their cut, $150,000. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that we're going to spend every dime of that and probably another $50,000 of our own money.
Yeah.
But one thing that Keemstar brought up, which is still out there, which I checked, and even Connor Shaw did a DLC review of, Payday 2 made a DLC to support Ethan and Neela, and if you bought it, the proceeds would go towards supporting Ethan and Neela for the case, but Steam would still take a good chunk of change out of that DLC pack. And look, I know, I get it, a small percentage out of the millions of players that own Payday 2 bought the DLC on PC to support Ethan and Neela. And please note, for the rest of this videos, keep small percentage in the back of your head, okay? So if we estimate a small percentage of people bought the DLC, and we're being generous saying that that Steam took out a bigger chunk of money, then that's still enough to last them a couple months. But look, I'd rather not guess that much, so when it comes to the FUPA funding situation, Ethan and Neela should just make a short video or a community post saying this is how much money Philly D raised, how much money was used, how long the case lasted, how much Overkill Studio money was given towards us at the time for the case, and how much we pitched in for going against Bold Guy when we won the case. Now on to the main thing that content creators should know, or viewers and subscribers in case you don't know. When you want to address something on your channel that will impact you, whether you're apologizing like Muta or you're addressing something like FUPA, how should you handle it? Will you A, address it on YouTube, where your main audience is, or Twitch, or will you address it on Twitter? If you said YouTube, you answered right. When it comes to Muta, when he addressed him apologizing, he said on Twitter, but a couple hours later he made a video where his main audience was, and they saw that he apologized and he's gonna move on. So most of his people that subscribe to him or follow him will be aware of it. As for Ethan Klein, when did he ever address FUPA, you might ask? Well, he never addressed it on YouTube ever since they won the case. He never brought it up on any 4 of his channels, from the H3 Productions to the Ethan and Neela, the H3 Podcast Clips, and the H3 Podcast channel. Finally, years later, he responded about FUPA towards Muta. The only other time FUPA was addressed by Ethan was years later on YouTube. On Twitter, he brought it up once, and that was around 2017 when they won the Bold Guy case. Now, why am I bringing it up? Why is this important for content creators, big and small, or even viewers and subscribers to know? Well, it's because a small percentage of people out there will interact with your content. This meaning a small percentage of people will watch your videos, and a smaller percentage of people will like your videos, subscribe, comment, and a fair amount of the people that like and subbed might follow your socials as well. You want some other proof? Look at the following in subscriber count between Ethan's Twitter and Ethan's subscriber count, or Muta subscriber count and Muta Twitter followers. They're completely different, as you can see. And even a smaller amount of the followers will like and comment on their Twitter posts. So I think you know why it's important to address things that will impact your channel on YouTube. That's where your main core audience is. Only a small percentage will interact with your content or follow you on social media. But I guess for some reason, Ethan Klein will interact with people that have bigger sub counts than him, regardless of views, when it comes to 8 Dots bringing it up, Memology bringing it up, or Goganaro bringing something up regarding his channel. So hopefully if Ethan Klein were to ever bring up the whole entire FUPA Fund ever again, he can make a short, quick update video about it. How much was the case lasting, how much money was made from Philly D and the Payday 2 DLC, and how much money they decided to pitch in to fight against Bold Guy. Just know, Ethan, just because he did something good for YouTube and won a case doesn't mean he can fuck up in the future, which you have done time and again. And if you're a content creator, if you're ever going to address something in the future regarding your channel, address it where your core audience is. Don't leave it on social media where a small percentage is, unless you're just hoping that hopefully Scares, Keemstar, or Bo Blacks will cover it for you. So with all that being said, keep making content if you are out there, keep improving your health, and I'll see you around.